Today we're looking at the geography of Walt Disney World in Celebration, Florida, uh, right outside of Orlando. Everybody thinks it's in Orlando, Florida, but it's actually uh, kind of its own entity. Um, but it is outside of the Orlando metropolitan area or within the Orlando metropolitan area. And we're going to look at it in this view briefly, and then I'm going to turn it over to satellite view. I prefer to look at it in satellite view because, it gives me the colors and the sense of, where I am and things of that nature. Whereas this plane view here, you can tell uh, a, a little bit more as far as where things are. If you're in that satellite view, you kind of have to have a mindset of knowing these things already and really can pick out the detail. Whereas in this view, you don't necessarily have to. But this is a quick overview, uh, kind of looking from uh, a top down perspective of the whole park, parks. Remember, there are four in Orlando at the Walt Disney World Resort. So let's look at, first of all, where everybody kind of thinks of Walt Disney World. This is where they go. All right, they go to Magic Kingdom. And now I'm going to turn on the satellite view, and you can see Bay Lake there, Seven Seas Lagoon, which has a vast majority of the deluxe resorts around the Magic Kingdom area. And even you see the little Reedy Creek Fire Station over here. This is part of that municipality that uh, Magic Kingdom, Walt Disney World is under. The Walt Disney World Corporation or Walt Disney Corporation really did some amazing things uh, early on to be able to control and update and do the things that they needed to do in order to make their part stand out above the rest throughout the world, really. Uh, and so let's look, right at the Magic Kingdom. Again, if someone says Walt Disney World, usually this is the first place people go to in their mind, and they think about, the castle and the castle stage in that area. You walk up into Magic Kingdom. This is what you'll ultimately see after you go down Main Street, USA. And I love that even on Google Maps that you have areas and places that are marked off. You see Main Street right there, like you would down any normal street that Google has gone through. But you take a look and you can see all the different areas of the Magic Kingdom. And again, I will most likely do some entire segmented videos on each one of these parks. So you have the Magic Kingdom. You have the Magic Kingdom Resort area, which consists of the Grand Floridian over here. You have the Polynesian. You have the Contemporary. You also have Wilderness Lodge and Fort Wilderness. And this is the campground area. And you can see it's a large area. They have campgrounds. They have places for campers that you can bring. They have places for tents. They have cabins that you can rent. It's an amazing place. I've been able to stay there a couple times. So this is probably the northernmost part. You get behind the scenes up here, coming off Reams Road in that area. And this is a lot of behind the scenes area. This is cast member areas, parking, different things like that. It's just amazing what they have done. Now, I do believe Bay Lake was already there. This lake already existed. However, Seven Seas Lagoon was man made. And there's a really neat feature if you ever actually drive past the Magic Kingdom up to the Contemporary, where you go underneath the water here. And so they have ferry boats that come through and go over to Wilderness Lodge, Fort Wilderness. And used to have Discovery Island over here that was open, and they go over the road. This road goes underneath an area here, which I always thought it's just fascinating. First time I saw it, I was awed by the engineering of it. Well, that's the Magic Kingdom Resort area and around the Magic Kingdom. Oh, don't let me forget. Also, you have Shades of Green over here, which is a military resort and multiple golf courses around. Shades of Green, you can stay there at a discounted rate. It's typically open for the military. I've never stayed there. My father has. He's retired military. But as you come over here, you see areas that are kind of owned by Disney, and they have some Disney correlation, but not necessarily fully Disney. I mean, a lot of this, some of this is backstage area. You have golf courses. You have Golden Oak, which is the really expensive area that you can live, really have houses. There's only a few people that actually live there full time. And then there's more resorts. You have Disney's Port Orleans Riverside. You have Port Orleans French Quarter. Then you have Old Key West over to Saratoga Springs. And then you have the I want to call it downtown Disney, but it's the Disney Springs. It's the shopping area. Multiple things, multiple places to go to over here, and then you have a lot of along the sides of that these good neighbor hotels, which are very good places to stay and sometimes very reasonable. I remember getting a room at the Wyndham over here for less than $100 a night at one point. So you have the area, which is here, the Disney Springs area, and again, I'll get into more at a different time. And then you have, again, cast member areas, but then you have the water parks. There's Typhoon Lagoon. And then more of this kind of mixed use area where you've got some Disney resorts, also some good neighbor resorts. There's Wyndham here, more golf courses, the Waldorf Astoria. And then right here, of course, you saw Caribbean Beach and the Riviera Resort right here. It's one of the newer resorts to Riviera. Caribbean Beach has been there for quite some time. And then down here you have the upper end of the lower end, I guess is what you could say, as far as resorts. The value resorts, the Pop Century, Art of Animation, and then they're right across from Hollywood Studios. Well, go down as far as we can over here, and you got Disney's Wild World of Sports. I hear less about this now than I used to, but it is down here. And then you have the value resorts. You have All Star Movies, All Star Music, and All Star Sports. And these are wonderful places. If you say, hey, I want to go to Disney and I don't want to spend a whole lot of money, but I want even the on property experience, go for one of these. Sometimes you'll hear people kind of snub their nose up that at them, but if you want to go and stay, and this is the way you can do it, do it. Um, I've stayed at multiple places. If I want to have a longer stay, like if I wanted to have a 2 week stay, which I've never had, but it would be possible if I stayed at one of these all-star resorts. You know, for most people that live in the real world, a 2 week stay at Grand Floridian or the Contemporary is out of question. Sometimes it's hard to stay a night at one of these places in peak season, and for what you can stay 2 nights, you can almost stay a week, or possibly at sometimes you can stay a week at one of these all stars. So don't stub your nose up at it, right? And then over here, uh, we have another water park, Blizzard Beach. Then you have Animal Kingdom, and as I've become a father, I've really enjoyed Animal Kingdom much more than I did before I had a child, uh, because there's so many things here as far as shows like the Lion King Festival of Lion King, the Nemo show, which is right here, that you can enjoy and see the joy on the face of your child. Um, I know they try to get kind of more of a teenager adult. They wanted to pull and hold on to those people, and they opened up Pandora. But I'm not saying it's a kiddie park, but it is, and it's a little bit more laid back than the other parks, and you can walk and go on the safari. I've just learned to enjoy it more here recently. Then over here on this very far side, you have uh, Animal Kingdom Villas and then Animal Kingdom Lodge. Um, really, uh, I will say these are great places to stay, but transportation to these is an issue. Um, Almost as if you aren't going to Animal Kingdom Lodge pretty much the whole time, uh, it gets fun trying to wait on a bus to go all the way to the other side of property, because it's a big property. Again, Animal Kingdom right here, another, the Coronado Resort, and then let's not forget about Disney's Hollywood Studios. Of course, Hollywood Studios has greatly expanded over the last few years with the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge area. And then you got the Star Wars Hotel out here, which is not even marked anymore. But maybe they'll find something to do with that very quickly. So you've got iconic things like the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. You got the Rock and Roller Coaster, and all of these over here in Hollywood Studios, which I always go back and say MGM Studios. And even accidentally clicked on that. Even the Indiana Jones Epic Spectacular. Don't forget that. You need to see that at least one time. I remember seeing Lights, Motors, Action the first time I went, and it was down in here, down in this area. And then you have the Epcot Resort area. You've got the boardwalk, Disney Swan and Dolphin over here. You got now the Swan Reserve, Yacht Club, Beach Club. As far as the resorts in that resort area. And then you have the biggest park as far as space is concerned, and that is Epcot. I believe it's 1.2 miles all the way around World Showcase. And of course, this is a little outdated because there's still major construction. You've already got Journey of Water inspired by Moana. It's already open again. You've got Guardians of the Galaxy that's open now. All of these areas. And again, I'll do a video looking at each one of these parks in more detail, and I'll talk about them. But that's just a quick, basic overview of Walt Disney World, and I'm sure I missed something. But again, I'll try more detail at a later time. Thanks for watching.